This is going to be such a great game between those two titans. We're going to jump into the map, and here we are starting to the top left. The Terran player for Team ASA, it is Innovation. He has the lead in the best of 5 series, the 2-1 for him, and he is cross-positioned to his opponent. At the bottom right of the map, we have for Evil Genius, Jaedong. He needs to win 2 in a row now if he wants to go up against Scarlet and maybe win his first major tournament this year.
An ill-fated attack there in the last game. Sometimes he does that. He flips the switch, turns on the light in the bathroom, and also in StarCraft 2 he sometimes flips the switch and suddenly goes for an all-out attack. And it's almost like when he decides to do that, he doesn't really mind if it's gonna work. That sounds so strange, but it's like he just does it. He doesn't worry too much about it, is really what I want to say here. And he just wants to throw that in now and then. He does this in every matchup. CVT and CVP.
I love it. I really like him. It makes him unpredictable, especially in a series like this. We all know that he has a great macro style, but if you are too predictable, then your opponents will start to be greedy against you. And then if you every now and then just throw in an aggression like this, it might work for you. In this case, it didn't. But we saw that for a lot of times for him actually coming through. And now it's of course the question, how exactly are both of them going to play it? Innovation with the command center first on this map.
On the low ground.
On the low ground.
Always makes me think, oh, an early pull would have worked.
Yeah, we don't really see too many early pulls against Terran these days, and for very good reason. A lot of Terrans will just build that command center on the high ground, and then they will be very, very safe. I'm personally not a massive fan of the command center on the low ground, but you can get away with that, and why not just go for it? I prefer it on the high ground, though. Gives you a little bit more safety, and that small advantage that you get of building it on the low ground. I'm not quite sure.
We talked about this yesterday.
We had that yesterday, that talk already. And we actually have for Jaedong that gas, once again, quite early in the game here.
Is that an early gas?
Well, he's getting it right away. He's not relying on any like 4-queen build at the beginning and just trying to shut down the Hellions and playing it gasless, getting the double gas a little bit later. So he's getting the 1 extractor a bit early, gives him the opportunity to go straight into the circling speed, helps him against Reapers, against Hellions, just controlling the map a little bit. So, yeah, one of the ways how you could play it. If you don't want to do that, you delay, you get a 4 queens, you are safe in the early game, and then later on you start with a double gas at roughly 6 minutes.
Okay. I'm thinking back to the DreamHack Winter series these guys played, where Innovation took a 2-1 victory. They played on Whirlwind, and this is the map where Jaedong went for hatchery, spawning pool. Innovation did Reaper opening on Whirlwind, which is kind of unusual. The vast majority of games by Terran against Zerg on Whirlwind, you see that command center first, because it's such a big map, right? So he was mind gaming there. He came in, he killed about 7 drones or so, and completely brought Jaedong's defenses and economy in disarray. Even to the point where Jaedong felt that the only way for him to get back into the game was to flip that switch, that kill switch. And he went a mass circling counterattack, which didn't work. So Innovation got inside Jaedong's head there. Maybe that is why we see the early speedling here. He's maybe thinking, maybe you go for the Reapers and I'll be happy with the speedling. However, he's going up against command center first. So small lead there again for Innovation in terms of the mind games and the build orders. You
know, it's actually a really good point, and it's actually also a question that you might be able to answer, or you will definitely be able to answer this. If you face an opponent in the duration of like 1 week, 10 days, several times in a big series like this, does that really affect you? Like in a let's say you play 2 best of 3s 1 week apart, or like 2 best of 5s, and in one of the games you play the map where your opponent went for a very for a strategy like what you just described, and then a week later you play him again on the same map but in a completely different tournament, in a completely different scenario, once again in a best of 3, best of 5. Do you really think about the same map that you played against him, or is it more like in the course of the best of 3 that you're going to judge what you would expect there?
I think it's both. I think these 2 images are both at the same time burned on your retina. So it's both what's happened now, and it's also what happened specifically on that map in that other series. So yeah, it's definitely a combination of those 2.
Well, that's a pretty good point. I mean, that's something that might still be in his mind there and thinking about it. But Now it's of course best of 5. At DreamHack they played a best of 3, and I think Whirlwind was it the third map? I'm actually not even quite sure which one it was.
I think it was.
So right now we have different openings from what you already described earlier. We have Innovation going into that much more common command center first build here, and we have Jaedong with those 3 bases. A lot of queens on the map, and with 5 queens in total, he's currently just really spreading this creep and also just connecting the bases, which makes it so much easier for him to use those queens to defend against anything that Innovation can send against him. Also, the tech into there, the double upgrades once again. Openings that we saw several times already. And Innovation with a lot more Hellions this time, going for the 6 Hellions here. Nice pull on the drones, being safe.
Yeah.
And that's the time when Innovation is like, alright, I'm going to spread my creep to the left as well, just making sure that I see those Hellions coming in as fast as possible.
Definitely. He's also got that Overlord there to spot, so that's why he was able to react so well with the drones and threaten with those links. Can't stay too long on creep because you could get surrounded easily by speedlings. And wow, look at Innovation landing that 3rd CC really soon. At 8:45 already. And if he gets away with that, he will get out of control with his macro. Keep in mind, Belcher Vestige, the very second he landed that orbital command on the 3rd base, Jaedong denied it. Denied that economy there. And that is why he was able to have a very good mid-game and able to push for the win.
Yeah, very different scenario though, since on the map and in the map that you just spoke of, we had Innovation expand towards his opponent, and also the maps they were in close position, whereas we have now cross position on this map. I'm actually thinking that this is going to be a sick game between the two of them. Both have the time right now to really gear up, to lay this foundation for an epic match later on, and that's exactly what we're seeing. They are both going for a very economy heavy game. Jaedong taking the 4th base. Look at this creep spread on the map, so meticulous about it. Those queens are really going to work here. And at the same time, we have Innovation doing very much the same thing, going for those upgrades, getting combat shields ready. And he will most likely get a 4th command center in just a few minutes as well, already on 3 bases and getting this income. Armory coming in for the +2/+2. This is going to be a very long drawn-out game, and I'm loving it already.
Yeah, it's that moment when you suddenly realize the game is going to be totally awesome.
Yeah.
Those Hellions, when they came in there, those creep tumors were cancelled by Jaedong, so he's able to continue spreading that creep unabated. He's also still got those friendly queens there to add more and more tumors and have this creep spread out at a very rapid rate. Innovation wants to stop that now. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a scan, starts taking down those tumors. All that hard work from Jaedong. No, my babies!
It's going to be fine. Those queens are going to help out with that, but sniping one of them, well done. The problem is that the Mutalisks are also on the way, and with the Mutalisks he can shut down the drop play as soon as the Mutalisks get close enough to the Medivacs. He's just now trying to make sure that they're not getting too much done. Needs to be careful that the Terran player just doesn't drop single Marines on top of those Banelings.
Yeah, that's always a nice move, which is really cost-efficient trades.
Nice position here for Innovation. Oh, but he doesn't lift in time, loses a lot, and now suddenly we have exactly what we talked about a second ago. Single Marine drops against the Banelings, eating up those Banelings immediately. The Mutalisks have to move back since the reinforcements are moving in, and Innovation is getting some momentum here. Another scan, forcing the creeps back one and more.
We've got that rally across the map as Innovation is starting to reinforce with extra Marines. 8 Banelings are on the map here. They've got speed upgrade. Nice focus fire there by Innovation and picking up his units. But Jaedong is able to repel this attack for now. Widowmine does not go down and it's going to get a fantastic explosion.
Widowmine with a hit here. The Mutalisks are so eager to take down these Medivacs. Finally they're getting them because the Afterburners are still in cooldown. Now he can boost away once more. And the one thing that really worked for Innovation the entire time is that he retreated into the incoming reinforcements. That's the only thing that saved these Medivacs. But now they are finally gone. Jaedong got the kills that he wanted. And in terms of resources lost, they are so even.
Now, are there any Overseers here? Because there's still some Brood Widowmines there in the middle. Yes, he has the Overseers. One more explosion there. And note that one of those Widowmines is the reason that one of those Medivacs blew up. That's why I kind of shouted own goal rudely through your commentary.
Don't worry about it. We have like 2-2 done for Jaedong. The 2-2 on the way for Innovation. He's a little bit slower with this. Keep in mind, there's no infestation pit just yet, so +3/+3 not accessible to the Zerg player who has his 3 bases up and still looking for the Medivacs. He spotted them to the right side of the map. Where are the Mutalisks? They're trying to intercept them, trying to fly in. He needs at least a few units on the ground to make sure that a drop isn't going to do too much damage. 2 Mutalisks, not enough. Can't sacrifice those 2. A few drones going down, but finally the Link is ready to the party. And of course now the Medivac is simply doomed. Can't do anything here anymore.
Yep. And I think he ended up only killing 1 drone there. Just 1 drone, maybe 2. So very nice damage mitigation there by Jaedong as he was on top of that, thanks to that great creep spread and Overlords. If we just take a look at Jaedong's vision, it's starting to get really, really impressive. He sees almost everything except this tiny path here at the bottom left towards his third is black area right now.
What we also have for him is the infestation pit now, and I mentioned this yesterday, I want to mention it again. I like that Zerg players are getting this a lot faster than they did a few months ago, just because they want to have this hive tech. It adds so much additional attack to their arsenal, and also of course these upgrades, so that you don't fall behind too much or for too long, because Innovation is of course getting the +3 attack upgrade, and armor will follow in a few seconds. The 4th base has been completed. There's the hive tech, immediately started, and Jaedong is already maxed out, +2 attack for his Mutalisks has been started for him as well. Even more joining now the battle. We have 120 army supply against 110, and he's just waiting for an opportunity to really do something here, to catch the Terran army in the middle of the map, and that's what he's trying to aim for. But of course the big problem are those Widow Mines.
Yes, he has to be very careful of those. He has so many Zerglings, but he's using a small amount of Zerglings. Wow, that was so nice. He only lost single or double Zerglings to every Widow Mine explosion, really mitigating the damage that he could take from that. And now they've all been used. Wow, so nice by Jaedong. Now he's able to move in freely. All the Widow Mines have been blown up already, and the Mutalisks are coming in here with Zerglings and Banelings.
Getting those Medivacs, taking them down one by one once again, and those are the expensive units. This is exactly what you want to take down. So Jaedong doing it once again. The Terran player is starting to take a lot less cost-efficient engagements here, and that's really annoying for Innovation. Finally, that 4th base put down here, had to take down that Zergling that was burrowed. Used the scan for this, and Mutalisks everywhere on this map, shutting down drops, taking down Medivacs, always going for them. Only 5 available to Innovation now. 25 Mutalisks in this game, soon to be with a +2 attack upgrade. And now that we have hive tech completed, +3/+3, and what I love, Adrenal Glands. Something that a lot of Terran players in this tournament have forgotten once they reach Lair tech.
Yeah, a lot of Zerg players have forgotten that. 3-3 as well, with an armor upgrade for the Mutants as well. I'm so impressed how these players are keeping their resources so low. I mean, Jaedong has been at 200 supply for a part of this army, for a part of this game, but he has seen fit somehow by spending money on hatcheries, upgrades, extra production, extra units, taking fights at the right time to be at a very, very low bank. And only now that he has everything coming that he could possibly want, he's starting to accumulate some bank. Getting ready for a remax after this next fight.
He's going in, and the Banelings getting the connects here. Not quite. He's moving in, trying to take down the SCVs and that planetary. And it's looking really good. Oh my god! The detonates here. 21 harvesters killed, and he gets the planetary to Jaedong. He's angry, and he takes down this Terran base. And another thing that I think is really great, we are 18 minutes, 19 minutes into the game, and Jaedong is still spreading creep. Just before he attacked that base, he put down another set of 10 creep tumors there, just to spread the creep even further onto the map. So always making sure that he's doing those mechanical things that give him an edge in the fights, give him the early attention against the move out of the Terran player. He sees it again. Ultralisk Cavern also completed, going for the Chitinous plating. We have the +1 armor upgrade started for the Mutalisks. The base being attacked here, but Jaedong, he's ignoring it. He's just going across the map. He wants to go for the counter crash.
Very wise to ignore this base. He's caught at that awkward place where he doesn't have 3-3 on his melee yet, and he's fighting against 3-3 Marines. This is Innovation's time. 3-3 just finished. He wants to get as much done as possible with that, and Jaedong very wisely going for the base trade. He's moving in here with these highly mobile Mutalisk and Zergling forces. Banelings are going to explode on the SCVs.
The Mutalisks are currently on 1 armor upgrade and 2 attack upgrades, and that's massive. A lift on that 3rd base, and here come the Mutalisks once again fighting against the Marines here. The Lings lending their support to the attack, and that is amazing for Jaedong now with a 50 supply lead. A few medivacs at the bottom right not doing anything, and Innovation would love to have those medivacs with their main army. He's currently looking at 100 army supply against 107, but another thing that this attack actually managed to do is free up supply for the switch into Ultralisks.
7 Ultralisks coming 3-3, finishing in 3, 2, 1, and it's finished. Kaiten has played... No, now it's finished. Okay, Kaiten has played is also finished.
Well, we have the 3-3 done now. The Kaiten is playing. It is indeed ready. The Ultralisks are also in the game, and Jaedong an 80 supply lead. Those Mutalisks, he used them so well to buy himself some time. And then GG as Innovation taps out.